In this video, I'll give you the 2024 running back strategy for 2024 fantasy redraft leagues. I'm Jim Coventry of Rotowire. Okay, there are two approaches, but they all depend on where you're drafting in the first round. If you're drafting in the first half of the first round, I am strongly advocating what we call the hero running back approach. You take that one stud running back, and then you're going to wait until later and deal with cobbling together your running back 2 and 3 and hoping you lightning the bottle there and making that work. The hero running backs are usually running backs that are at least on the younger side, definitely have the ability to see heavy workload, and they're superstars. So the players that I recommend if you're in the first half of the first round. Now, obviously, Christian McCaffrey goes the first pick in most drafts. We know he's dealing with that calf injury. We're not quite sure if that's going to become a thing. But obviously, if you're picking early, he's on the table, and there's no need to talk about Christian McCaffrey at this point, assuming health, because he has been the best there is. But I'll talk about Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson if you're going to go hero running back. Now, Breece Hall, said earlier, he got it done as a receiver last year because there was nothing on the Jets, no offensive line. Defense didn't respect the quarterback, so he did a lot of damage as a receiver. Before the ACL injury as a rookie, which happened in week 7 of 2022, Breece Hall was 5.8 yards per carry as a runner. So we know he can get it as a runner, a receiver, a goal line option. The offensive line's been significantly enhanced in New York. Aaron Rodgers and Tyrod Taylor are there. Breece Hall should be able to carry your fantasy team. Bijan Robinson also fits here. New offense with Zach Robinson. Last year we saw the Rams, not the Falcons we're talking about now, run this duo downhill, and it worked very well against the defense of the league using light boxes to stop the run. Well, Bijan Robinson and Zach Robinson is the coach who may employ those same principles. And you remember the production Kyren Williams had in that offense. Well, now imagine Bijan Robinson compared to Kyren Williams, and you get my point. And also uses a receiver near the goal line. Tyler Algier will get some work, but Bijan Robinson should be able to carry your fantasy team. So if you start your team out with the hero running back with one of those two picks, then I'm going to wait until the 6th or 7th round of most 12-team drafts to get myself started on my running back too. Because I'm taking such a great running back, I want to load up on those receivers in rounds 2, 3, 4, maybe 5. And maybe at some point put in a quarterback or a tight end if that's what I really want to do. But I really want to pound those receivers. Now when I'm coming back 6th, 7th, or 8th round, throw some names, give you some quick hits on these players. Aaron Jones, I know he's going to be 29 this year, lightly used in his career, comes in a real good situation in Minnesota with a good offensive line. They have good receivers. Ty Chandler, to me, is not much in the way of competition. 1-year contract. Minnesota has no reason to preserve him. James Conner, I know he'll miss 3 games. Write it in pen. That's the way it's going to be. But Conner, career high 5 yards per carry last year. Insane levels, broken tackle rate, yards after contact. The team did invest in the running back position with Trey Benson in the draft, but James Conner will remain the lead. He's the heart and soul of his team. Rhamondre Stevenson of the New England Patriots. I know he's missed 5 games in 2023 and 5 games in 2021, but we saw in 2022 his 1,400-yard ability. He can run, he can catch, he's great at the goal line. The offense could be healthier this year now that the team has passed Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi. And so all that said, Stevenson should see a lot of work. Zamir White, look, a small sample size last year, but we know the Raiders want to run the ball. They want to play defense. Their offensive line is underrated. They're very good. Zamir White's going to get work. Doesn't have Alexander Madison as his competition. Minnesota had a cheap contract with him. They let him walk. Didn't want him there. Got rid of him. Really no competition. White may not be a superstar running back, but we know this volume's king in fantasy football. And then even if you wait a little bit longer to get that 2nd and 3rd running back, 8th round, maybe the 9th round, Raheem Mostert gets about 215 touches a year, flirts with anywhere from 900 to 1,100 yards, not getting that 21 touchdowns again, but 5, that's reasonable. In obviously Mike McDaniel offense, Mostert's aging, but the last 2 years he's mostly been in the field, and it's because he's being preserved well. Chase Brown is another player of Cincinnati Bengals. Right now he projects to be the receiving back in Cincinnati, but Zach Moss was not very good after week 5 last year. 3.92 yards per carry from week 5 on, playing behind a great offensive line, and now that offensive line is less. Zach Moss will get a lot of the rushing work, but Chase Brown may eat significantly into that work if he's a better player. Devin Singletary, boring ho-hum, I know. He's on the Giants, but look, Singletary usually gets 215 touches a year. He gets about 1,000 scrimmage yards, and you call it a day. It's not pretty. You're not going to probably have a bunch of great weeks, but you're not looking for that at this point in the draft. You're looking for a running back too. And, Eric Gray, Tyrone Tracy, maybe, but Singletary has a big edge on him to start the season. And Brian Dable coached Singletary and brought him in. So he should have a leg up. And then of these late running backs, I like to grab one of them at least, and two maybe. Ray Davis of the Bills. Ray Davis is a good move. You go with Ray Davis? Well, Ray Davis is probably be an inside downhill runner. Josh Allen always has defenses worried about the pass, so he'll have 3 yards. James Cook was 2.64 yards per carry in his last 5 games. He was overworked. The Bills have to work in another running back. They got to preserve Cook and keep him fresh. Davis, the Bills' secondary running backs had 16 carries inside the 5-yard line last year. Ray Davis should move into that role. Opportunity to score touchdowns. Another late player. Look, he's washed, but Zeke Elliott's probably going to be the pass-catching back. He's probably going to be the goal line back. Dallas could probably score a lot of points. Zeke Elliott's not going to do a lot yards per carry. He could be 2.8 yards per carry. But if he gets the catches and he gets the goal line work and you're taking him late, yeah, you can put him in your lineup. Antonio Gibson, I know I said Rhamondre Stevenson earlier, but Antonio Gibson does have an opportunity to work in as a receiving back if you're in a PPR league, if the Patriots are trailing in games, which the defense may not be the same with Bill Belichick on. The players seemed great, but they were always optimized. Gibson could get a lot of work as a receiver. Finally, real late, Bucky Irving. Look, Rachaad White had 336 touches last year. There's no NFL team that wants to give a non-workhorse back 336 touches. If Bucky Irving is anything at all, he probably falls into 150 touches. And that's value for a late running back who you might flex or injury week replace him. If you like videos like this, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the Rotowire Fantasy Football channel on YouTube. Also, you can check out our fantasy football content and rankings by getting a free 2-day trial. No credit card. Just head to rotowire.com/Jim. See all of our content. Now, some of these players' names will repeat, but I'm going to give you the second way to approach running back. If you don't get one of those running backs to anchor your team, I go with the balanced approach. Give me 2 somewhat early, and then some of those same names later because I still want to have a little depth. So what I'm going to change is if I'm making my running back pick in the second round, maybe it spills into the third, not often, but usually have to get these guys in the second round. You could go with Saquon Barkley. Look, Saquon Barkley was in a horrible situation with the Giants. Offensive line was brutal. Teams did not respect the quarterback or the passing game. Even if teams didn't stack boxes, and they didn't often, teams were on their toes facing forward, going downhill to deal with Barkley. They didn't have to load the box. They just had to send people that way. So Barkley was in a horrible situation. He's in Philly now. I know Jason Kelce, the center, retired. But that said, the line is still excellent. Defenses have to worry about A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts. Barkley may lose some touchdown opportunities because of Jalen Hurts. But Kellen Moore's offense, we've seen running backs when he was in Dallas see up to 20% of the targets. Barkley should be heavily used here, could anchor your team. Derrick Henry, I know he's aging, he's 30, but look, he's playing with Lamar Jackson, great RPO quarterback. We know the Ravens have always committed to that running game to some level. Derrick Henry had great broken tackle rate and yards after contact last year. He's still a great back. He just had a horrible offensive line and team in Tennessee. Again, no quarterback to worry about. Henry was often hit behind the line of scrimmage. He has a much better opportunity to get yards quickly and get ahead of steam in Baltimore, betting on Henry. So then that's your first back. And then a nice second back if you go in the 4th or 5th round. Usually, 4th round's about right for these players. But then come back there and Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon averaged 303 touches over the last 3 years. Moves to Houston. Houston extended his contract. They want him there. This offense is predicated on getting running. They ran last year where they couldn't run. Now that they have a running back that can at least sustain a game. He's not great. He's a compiler, but he gets you to 2, 3, 4 yards per carry. He doesn't usually set you back. So he's going to be used as a runner, receiver, goal line, or Kenneth Walker. Look, give Kenneth Walker another shot. Seattle ran a lot of 2 tight end sets last year when Shane Waldron coached them. Defenses kind of knew with Pete Carroll, they're probably going to run a lot, right? So this year, Ryan Grubb's in the coach up. They're going to spread it out. They got rid of 2 tight ends off the roster. Looks like it's going to be a spread offense. Kenneth Walker's a dynamic runner. Get him some space, and he works. And then, like we said, we're piling up those running backs later, 8th round and beyond. We mentioned these names earlier in the video, so I won't go over all the details on them. Raheem Mostert, Chase Brown, Devin Singletary, very nice number 3s. You're going late, same names, Ray Davis, Zeke Elliott, Antonio Gibson, Bucky Irving. Both of those strategies, whichever one works best for you, should help you greatly in your 2024 fantasy draft.